Now, cases are one of the best investments in the game, and for that reason, number 5 on my list is going to go to the revolver case. The revolver case is absolutely perfect when we're talking about investment in 2 out of 3 categories. It's got a really strong amount of demand, and it's got a super low supply, relatively speaking, which are both really good things. The problem comes in form of the price. The price on it is sitting around $2, which is a rather expensive price point when we're talking about investment that we're seeing a lot of long-term potential with, which I definitely do see with the revolver case. The problem is that's a really expensive price to get in at. With that being said, I still think the revolver case is a pretty decent investment overall. It's got the only option if you're looking to go ahead and unbox that $1.5 million blue gem, which is more expensive now, unless you're looking to do it in a more expensive case, which probably wouldn't be the smartest move. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins, with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options, and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now, talking about active duty cases, there's a really big mixed bag here. We're not going to be talking about the Revolution nor the Dreams and Nightmares. They're too expensive. The Recoil and the Fracture are both okay options, but I think they offer a little bit too expensive of a price point for the potential that they hold. The biggest one I want to focus in on is the Snakebite. That's because it's currently the cheapest case out there, battling with the Recoil, but the Snakebite's a little bit different. That's because the unboxing rate on it is significantly lower than what we would expect to see from a case like this. Therefore, it has the opportunity to go ahead and get removed next. It's definitely not a guaranteed by any means, but if you're looking for an active duty case that does have some upside potential, I think the Snakebite is probably your case. Number 4 on the list is going to go to the Spectrum 2, with obviously an honorable mention to the Spectrum 1. If you want to do it, it's just a little bit too expensive. Now, talking about the Spectrum 2, it's got a lot of great options around it. First of all, it's got a pretty strong unboxing demand, and it's always had a pretty strong unboxing demand. The supply on it is definitely not minuscule, but it's not massive either, which is in a perfect sweet spot. The biggest thing is you're going to be able to unbox those gems. We've seen a lot of people pick up interest in the Doppler Ruby, the Doppler Sapphire, and the Doppler finishes overall. This is your only chance to go ahead and get those Dopplers on a butterfly knife, which is extremely valuable in the current market. I think this one is definitely going to see a lot more increasing in unboxings when we start to see a lot of people flock back to CS2, because obviously the player numbers aren't doing anything special right now. But if you think that the Dopplers are going to continue their domination, I think this might be the case for you. Now, obviously every investment comes with a certain level of risk, but if you're looking for the least risky investment that's actually going to make you some money, I would highly suggest you check out the Discontinued Cases. These 3 cases right here, the Shattered Web, the Broken Fang, and the Riptide, are probably going to be the 3 you're looking at. With that being said, they are not created equally. The Shattered Web, although it is the cheapest, it offers the least amount of opportunity in the current moment, which is unfortunate because the supply on it is not big. Problem is, the unboxing demand for this case is absolutely diminished because you have the Fracture case for the alternatives. Broken Fang and Riptide are pretty good options, although they are quite expensive. We can see massive amount of growth for these cases in the past year, and it's probably going to continue on that track because obviously the supply cannot grow inside of this area. Number 3 position is going to go to the Chroma 3 case. Chroma 3 case has been on an absolute tear for the past couple of months, specifically the month of December. Talking about the unboxing rate, it's been absolutely blowing the rest of the older rare cases out of the water. Plus, when we're talking about the supply, it's not minuscule, but it's not absolutely massive. Chroma 2 is an okay alternative. It's just a little bit more expensive, and you're getting pretty much the same exact product. Now, when we're talking about the Chroma 3 case, the knives inside of it are exactly where it's at. Looking at the price trends and all the data, it's actually very likely we're probably going to see all 3 of the Chroma cases come to a very similar price point, and considering Chroma 3 is currently the cheapest one out there, it's probably not a bad idea to start looking at this or picking it up if that's what you want to do. One, your trajectory looks absolutely amazing, and the future trajectory on this thing looks absolutely amazing as well. This is one I would strongly suggest you take a look into if you want some Chroma cases. The second best case is going to go to the Danger Zone case. Danger Zone case is in a very prime position right now, and I think it's something you should definitely check out. If you have the Horizon case, it's an okay alternative, just not what I would personally be going into because of price. Danger Zone case is in a perfect opportunity for a couple different reasons. First of all, unboxing numbers on this thing are absolutely perfect where we would expect it to be. The supply on it is massive when we're talking about a rare case, but it's definitely one that's been shrinking relatively quickly just because the unboxing rate is definitely there. And third of all, if we're talking about price, it's one of the cheapest cases to currently get into that's a rare case. Got a really desirable set of items inside of it, and when we're talking overall, Danger Zone case is one of the most common cases out there when it comes for unboxings, which is perfect because we want something that people know they like and they're going to continue to unbox. A quick mention about the Horizon case, it's an okay alternative, but the truth is it's not being unboxed as much. The supply is definitely a little bit lower, but it doesn't make up for it in my personal opinion. After that, we got some strong mid-tier cases that just didn't make the list. We got our Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. The actual biggest problem when it comes to the Gamma cases is that they're so evenly matched because they're both pretty decent. They're not anything outstanding, but that creates a huge problem because we can see both of them are sitting at a pretty expensive price point already, and neither one of them is going to pull away from the other. other, which means the growth of both of them has to move for the price to move. Therefore, they're an okay option, but not personally what I would be ideally looking for in the current market. Second of all, we got the Wildfire case. I really like the Wildfire case because it's a little bit more of a unique case. If we want to look at the ROI breakdown, you can see that the majority of the value actually comes from the skins rather than the knives, which is something unique. You're not going to find it anywhere else, but it has that Bowie knife, and we can see over the past year, it's definitely done a pretty decent amount of growth, and it's probably going to continue doing a decent amount of growth, but not anything absolutely outstanding, which is what the goal of this list is. And finally, if you're looking for something that's a decent option as well, we've got the Vanguard and the Phoenix case. They're not absolutely outstanding, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're probably going to be a little bit more of a safer option as well, just because the supply on them is much lower. Now, if you're looking for my number one case right now, it's going to be the Prisma 2 case for a couple different reasons. First, if we want to talk about unboxing numbers, it's currently the second most unboxed rare case out there. Only one is slightly beating it out is the Clutch, but the Clutch has a massive supply. Prisma 2 does not have a big supply. In fact, it's lower than the Danger Zone as well, putting it in first place here. If you have the Prisma 1 case, I think it's a very okay alternative. I wouldn't sell it off to get some Prisma 2, but if you're looking to make an investment right now, I think the Prisma 2 is definitely the one you should be going for. ROIs are very similar, and when we're talking about everything the Prisma 2 has, it just seems like it's a significantly more desirable case to open for a significant amount of people. Combine that with the fact that we've got over 500% growth in the past year, and when we're talking about the next year, I don't think anything's going to change. This is one of the most desirable cases to open when the hype comes up, and I think, honestly, if you think there's going to be an interest back in this game, the Prisma 2 is probably going to be the best case for you to look at. Now, talking about cheaper rare cases we haven't talked about yet, the first one is going to be the Clutch case. Obviously, the Clutch case seems like it's dominating into a lot of different factors. If we want to talk about unboxing demand, it's number one. If we want to talk about the cheapest case out there, it's number one for rare cases. Therefore, why would it not be a great investment? It's because of the supply. The supply on this thing is absolutely massive, and therefore it makes it a really hard investment for me to have personally. If we want to look at the 1 year, there's a reason why we haven't seen any growth for this case, relatively speaking. It's because the supply is so massive. I think in long term, it's going to be a pretty decent option, but right now, if you're looking to pick something up, I don't think it should be your number one. CS20 case is also another case that a lot of people point to. I just don't think it's really ideal in any situation. The unboxing rate on it isn't anything special. The supply on it's about average, and when we're talking about this case overall, there's nothing that stands out to me as being overall why I would invest into it. The classic knives are cool, but they're not anything special, and the CS20 case is just kind of mid overall, therefore it's not my number one. Only two we haven't explicitly mentioned are the Prisma 1 and the Horizon. Both of these I think are pretty okay cases. Honestly, I think they're pretty decent cases, but I think you're probably better off with going with the Prisma 2 or the Danger Zone, just because those are going to have a little bit more demand behind them compared to these ones, which are good, but they're not amazing. Now, which case should you invest into? Honestly, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more high tier, I definitely think the Chroma 3 is right in your wheelhouse. It's got a little bit more of an expensive price point, but the demand on it is absolutely massive, and we're talking about cases that people love to unbox. Chromas are definitely there. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more cheap, a little bit more profit potential, Prisma 2 is definitely going to be the right way to go in my personal opinion. The demand is definitely there right now, and it's going to be there even more when we start to see the unboxing demand overall start to balloon like I expect it to do in the near future. But that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Over your rest of your day.